Hi, Dr. Ariel. Welcome to my science experiment. I wanted to do my experiment on the density of water. And in the real life situation, how the ice caps are melting. And what that is doing is putting a large influx of fresh water that is less dense than salt water. How this impacts our oceans is it is impacting the ocean's ability to, the ocean currents. And the currents are actually really valuable in distributing heat in our planet. And as that heat is distributed, it makes our poles, very cold part of our planet, warmer. And it also brings cooler temperatures via the ocean to the equator. And it actually helps the equator not get as hot as it could be. And so because of climate change and global warming, our ice shelves are melting, and what that is doing is actually creating a cap that's making those currents. It's making the ocean more difficult to conduct those currents and thus distribute the heat in our planet. To do the experiment that I have planned, I've got a thermometer, I've got salt, and I've measured out my salt here. Our ocean is approximately 35 parts per thousand, and I figured out that in a cup of water, you would need a little over a teaspoon and a half, so about a teaspoon, a half and an eighth of salt per cup of water to get the salinity of about 35 parts per thousand, of which is what the salinity of the Atlantic Ocean is. Our oceans vary, but on average, it's about 33, but I'm gonna go with 35 because that's what the Atlantic Ocean is. It's about 35 to 38 parts per thousand. So I've got salt measured for 2 cups of water. I've got water that I am cooling. This is fresh water, and I'm going to put blue dye in it. And that blue dye will make it more visible as to the layers of the water that I'm going to put in here. In this container, I have salt water. This is where I'm going to mix the salt, and I'm going to stir it. I'm going to bring it to a cooler temperature, close to 4 degrees Celsius. And this is going to be 4 degrees Celsius. But what I'm going to see is how much mixing is the water going to do. The saline water is supposed to be denser. And we both know that water is at its densest at 4 degrees Celsius. So if I make the fresh water that is going to be dyed with blue, 4 degrees Celsius, and I make the saline water at 4 degrees Celsius, how much mixing is going to occur? And if it doesn't mix, that is going to replicate kind of the difficulty in these currents being able to flow, because if it can't bust over through that cap of fresh water, that is going to cause more problems. It's different when before climate change, there was just this little bit of a trickle of fresh water coming in, and now with the global warming, less water is freezing in the winter, meaning there's just more fresh water that is available, that is capping the oceans in that region. So now I have both waters at around 4 degrees Celsius. I'm going to move ahead. I've got a bowl here that is, I'm going to move these to the side. That is, it's at a slight angle to kind of mimic the gentle inflowing of the fresh water, and that's the blue water, into the saline water, which is the clear water in this bowl. Okay, so I'm going to add it slowly and we'll see what happens.
Haiduc și te rog, iubirea mea, primește fericirea. Alo, alo, sunt eu, Picasso, ți-am dat bip și sunt voinic, dar să știi, nu-ți cer nimic.
Let's see what is occurring here. at the horizons. You see at the top here, it's a lot darker. So this time I used four cups of saline water. Definitely could be with a higher volume of salt water than fresh water. You can see the cap on top. You can see how dark that top is. And actually, I feel like the horizons are becoming more apparent the longer we stay. However, the horizons also, this is something I just thought of, the horizons may be because the bowl is thinner there. So Dr. Ariel, that's my experiment. I want to thank you for encouraging us to do it. And I'm sorry this is late, but I had a crazy day yesterday. I work for a company that does poison ivy eradication. And there are a lot of people who have a lot of problems with poison ivy. And we're very busy at this time. But I wanted to try and get physics done this summer. So I thank you very much for your flexibility with this, because I had a very long day yesterday and didn't pretty much get home until didn't get off work until about 8 o'clock, because I'm out and about all day, and then I come home and I have to email out quotes and stuff like that. I do the quotes for the company. So thank you for your flexibility, and I look forward to physics too. Thank you.
Să pleci, dar numai ei. Numai ei. Numai ei. Chipul tău și dragostea din tei mi-amintesc de ochii tăi. Vrei să pleci, dar numai ei.
Absolutely nothing. That was very discouraging.
Chipul tău și dragostea din tei